Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Blue Archive set of reactions. Today we have a few songs as requested by Azalest in the comments of last video, who clarified that it's actually a good thing I didn't get to 145 because it's a sequel, it's a 57, so I figured I might as well just throw both of these together. It also had a pretty high count on the likes as well, so it's just kind of a win-win here. So I guess without further ado, that's what we'll be doing. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's go! Ooh. That's crunchy. That's a very bright mix, Nor. Ooh. Kind of doing some different stuff with the, that too. Like the rhythms and everything. Kind of changing it up a little bit. Making things just syncopate with each other. Woo! Oh, this feels great. I was a little concerned on that opening. Yep. You can see that beat pattern coming a mile away. A build up this close to the end. Ah. And a beautiful little decay at the end. Oh. A surprise! I thought it was just gonna fade out that entire time. Okay, that caught me off guard in a few ways. So I was definitely concerned when this one started off because it was so extremely sharp, not in the tone or in the notes really, it was just the mix. It was a very bright mix. It was very, very heavy on that higher end frequency, like north of 5,000 on the hertz range. It was just everything north of that felt like it was brightened up and maybe thrown through something like an XL filter or something just to brighten that entire frequency spectrum up, and like that's fine. That is perfectly fine. It was a little bit harsh in the beginning. By the time it actually got to the meat of the song, like in the middle, especially around that drop, everything balanced out. It felt a lot better, but I was definitely concerned because I was like, if the whole song feels like this might be one of my least favorite ones just based on the mix, which I was really disappointed about at first, but I'm glad that it all came to that amazing center point where everything just worked together. There was a lot of fun in that second part. He had a really neat moment on that bridge, like bringing it into that second half and just having everything just kind of settle in before it got back into the energy. And that like like that bass, that's such a standard kick pattern for this style of music, and it just works in every way every single time you hear it. I'm sure if any of you are a fan of Porter Robinson, you've probably heard that more than enough times in his work in the past, or really any EDM producer that kind of plays in this genre or anything around it. It's a very popular kick pattern, and it totally does its job. It keeps the energy high, it keeps things alive and moving, but also it's just different. It's not the same 1, 2, 3, 4 standard that we're all used to hearing in everything, which while being a standard is of course fine, it still keeps it a little bit more intriguing than just the standard, you know? You have to switch it up a little bit, and even though this in itself has also become kind of like a stereotypical option in that way, it's still a lot more inviting because even though it is pretty popular, if done right, like in this song, it just adds to the whole energy of the track, and it's really everything on top of it that makes the song good or bad. This pattern will not make or break a song, it's just really popular and for good reason. But the motifs and the melody on this were just working so well together, and it just felt beautiful. It felt so gorgeous. I love this. This is another one of those songs where like I hear it and it floods me me a little bit with nostalgia just for the sound of music. I don't really hear this too often anymore, even if I do hear things that are close, or maybe they'll touch on it for like a measure or two, or if I'm lucky, maybe like a section of the song. You don't get a whole track like this. So even though this one's short, I love that it's all this style. And despite my fear in the beginning of it maybe just sounding too sharp and a little too abrasive through the whole thing, like I said, it kind of came back down and more or less nestled itself nicely in with all of the other layers that were added at that point. I think it was just the fact that it was solo in that beginning part that it felt so abrasive. There wasn't anything contradicting that tone, so it just felt a little bit crunchy. But by the time we got out of that crispiness, it was absolutely perfect. But now I guess I should probably listen to 145 and see what that one has in store for me. Now knowing that it's a sequel, I have at least maybe an idea of what it might sound like off of this one, but I've been proven wrong on that before. Sometimes they just are completely original. But without further ado, let's go. Ooh, wait a second. Yeah, we're still in that same, okay, we're in like the same key. Even this. It's the same root note. It is a true sequel. Let's see where the energy brings us this time. A lot more neutral on the mix as well. I don't have that same harsh issue like I did with the first one. Woo! Whoa! Ooh, get him! That is a really nice change-up. This is a great example of simplicity is key. There's not too much going on. Unless... Oh, no, okay. He's already pulling it back a little bit. But yeah, like, this is so simple. It's such a natural progression from the last one. But it takes itself seriously and it doesn't try to push too hard. Now this should just be the one-time fade. No surprises. Okay. Yep. So like I said for this one, this is a great simple piece. This is a simple evolution on the prior, and that's not a bad thing. Simplicity can be key, and this is one of those times. Like I again said earlier, this is a beautiful take on that prior sound, and like in the beginning utilizing that like speed ramped synth that's kind of like whirring down, keeping it on that same root note that we got from the prior song to connect them that way. And it also had that same like synth in there. That's what was being affected at the beginning, and like that felt like a direct link from the first song to this one, so that's a great connection. But also that this one just did not try too hard, like I said as well. This one just felt so simple but so effective. It's really truly in that this didn't have a gigantic explosion of sound. It didn't evolve itself with a bunch of other complex elements. It didn't try too hard to become a new thing. It just evolved on what the original song set down on our plate in front of us, and we were like, that's a really good meal. But then what if they came up with just like a piece of pie that perfectly complemented the main dish, and you're just like, ooh, thank you, sir. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what this song feels like. It's a completely natural progression. And that might feel like a little bit of a cop-out to say, because like you could say that about any sequel song really, but this one just has that connection it factor between the two versions, where the first one was setting up the story and this one is kind of just like leading you through the end credits. It's just like allowing you to feel out where that last song came from, and it has such a natural, it feels like these were composed at the exact same time. Given that the numbers of the songs are so different, I don't know if that's how that works or if the numbers have anything to do with when they're released or anything. I'm not sure how that works. I feel like people have told me before, but I do not remember if that is relevant at all, or if it's completely arbitrary for the numbering scheme there. I can't recall, but it really feels like he truly put these two together, or at very least opened up that prior file and was like, okay, I want to take this, drag this over, and was like borrowing those elements, not just listening to it and going, okay, I want to use that and do that again. It really felt like he straight up just stitched this on to the end of the prior one. Like, you could probably fade right between these two and it would feel completely natural, but I've said the word natural too many times now, so I just think I'm starting to restate myself, so I'll call it here. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you have something else you want me to get to, let me know down in the comments below and I will do my best to get to it as always. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!